Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties have a lot going on in them, so I decided to give you guys some tips and tricks and things I wish I knew sooner, since this video is sponsored by Sega and RGG Studio, who sent me a copy of the game early so I could do that. Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties is a 2 games-in-1 action-adventure experience, now available on Steam, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch 2. It's out now, so click on the link down below to grab it for yourself. In case you're wondering what the games are, what the differences are, Yakuza Kiwami 3 is a complete remake of Yakuza 3. It is a lot different, has a ton of new things going on, basically an entirely new game. Dark Ties is a new story expansion to it, but a pretty big one that takes around 8 to 12 hours to complete, and both of these games just come in one package. Somewhat towards the end of Chapter 2, you will unlock the Dojo. This is found over at the bar at the green little house icon on the map, and if you head inside and just go up the stairs, you can speak to the Dojo student, who will allow you to either practice or promote. Both of these are insanely helpful for combat. If you're not ready for a promotion, you can do practice, and in practice, each of these has a main objective that allows you to pass that practice challenge, and then 2 additional challenges that are optional but grant you different amounts of training points. Just remember, for some of these, all of these weapons that these challenge you on are listed down at the bottom right as you're playing and fighting against the Dojo students. I was confused on which weapons these were asking about in the actual challenges. To be honest, I don't remember what the heck the Tonfa and Kama and Iku are, but it tells you with the following controls that uses that down at the bottom. Except some of these weapons are only available during specific combos, like the Kama. Like the very second challenge on the apprentice's rank practices, it wants you to attack with the Kama 3 times. In order to do that, you can just use 3 light attacks and then 2 heavy attacks, or I guess really it's called 3 weak attacks and 2 Tonfa attacks. And there you go, you should use the Kama. If you're doing it right, you'll see the like 2 little mini scythes that you're dual wielding. Also, keep an eye on the description of that training practice. There's an asterisk that typically says what is required. Like for the training rank 3 challenges, the advanced practice trainings, there are challenges to land a charged essence of Teko and Tonfa. I was sitting there doing this challenge, trying all sorts of different combos to try to perform these charged essence attacks, but it says right there it requires ability upgrades. In this case, the essence of Tonfas and essence of Teko, which you can see here are both pretty far down this ability's skill tree. If you don't have these unlocked, you can just progress the rest of the ranks in the dojo until you have more training points, since you don't need to do these extra challenges to move up the ranks. They just give you more training points by doing those, and you can always come back to get them. It's just now you might not make it to the next rank without doing extra stuff. That is, the only bottleneck is that when you've completed this list of challenges and the rank meter up at the top right has not filled, you won't be able to promote yet. And you get new challenges every time you promote. A promotion opportunity comes up every time the rank points meter up here fills, in which case you should get a text on your phone saying that you can try and promote in the dojo to the next rank. You just speak to the dojo student again, and then you can perform the promotion challenge. Doing that will take you to the next rank and give you a new set of practice challenges, allowing you to get more training points, which also takes you to the next rank and allows you to unlock more abilities. It's a big old circle, and you can just get extremely powerful this way. But like I said, if you can't progress any more of these practice challenges and you're still not at the next training rank, all you have to do is head over to your training list and complete some of these challenges for training points. Anything that rewards training points will put those training points towards your next rank, as well as your ability upgrades. And the training list is also where you should go when you want to see your dojo rank and how close you are, points-wise, to that next rank. Each time you level up in the dojo, you unlock a new ability, a new Miyazato-style technique. If you ever want to take a look at your Miyazato techniques, you can always pause and go to the upgrades menu, and it gives you the option down at the bottom, which is F on PC, to bring up all of your secret techniques. These are some of the best abilities in the game, particularly Deadly Drift and Tiger Drop. For Deadly Drift, you can do it with your weapons or without. Doesn't matter which stance you're in, which fighting style you're using. If you have your fists out, you'll do a Dojima Drift after doing a perfect dodge and then pressing the attack button, and then Ryukyu Drift when you have your Ryukyu fighting style weapons out. But Tiger Drop is just absolutely insane and really easy to use. You just press the fighting stance button and then your Tonfa attack or stronger attack. One of the best abilities that you can get fairly early on, it's towards the top portion of the special abilities skill tree, is Giant Swing. You just hold down the grab button and it allows you to just pick up an enemy and throw them across the map. Well, if you have other ground attack abilities like the Punt Kick Finisher, just above that, it is a super early ability. With that, you can just keep on soccer kicking them over and over again until they're all the way on their feet, and if they get up, you can just throw them again. You don't have to use the giant swing in order to throw them and get them down. You can do this whenever the heck they're down. The punt kick is insane. The giant swing is just another overpowered ability in its own right. Not necessarily overpowered, but really good. Especially if you come down and get the giant swing Kiwami ability that allows you to also hit additional enemies along with it. There are two giant swing Kiwamis. If you're wondering what the differences are, the one towards the top is the one you can do when you perform a normal grab, not an actual giant swing. You're grabbing someone and then giant swinging them to hit additional enemies. The second one, you do the giant swing and can also hit enemies when you throw them. Either way, just the giant swing and the punt kick finisher, both of these abilities are just insane, because you can just pick them up to swing them around, knock them down on the ground, and just keep kicking them over and over again. The giant swing is my favorite way to break guards or blocking enemies. If they're just standing there blocking, grab them and throw them, and now you can kick them into smithereens, or at least stop them from blocking. If you get knocked down, you can press the light or heavy attack to quickly hop to your feet and attack an enemy. The way that you lock onto enemies in this game is by just facing in that enemy's direction. So if you're blocking, you can still block in the direction of the enemy, even if it's behind you. You just have to face in that direction. And it doesn't matter if you press that direction after you're already blocking. I also found that just spamming the weak attack and the Ryukyu stance, and then blocking and doing the shield strike, which to do that, you just weak attack while shield blocking, and then dropping the block, going back to normal weak attacks, and just doing that over and over again. Hit a couple weak attacks, shield block, strike, more weak attacks, just keep doing the shield block, strike in between, and you can stun lock most enemies. It's not always the most efficient way to kill them in the fastest possible way, but it is insanely overpowered. The hold heavy attack move that you unlock towards the start of chapter 2 when you get your weapons and you swing around this big pole arm is really good anytime there's a large group of enemies, and if you complete the combo, it'll knock them down and allow you to quickly smash their face in with a finisher. Another really good upgrade that you'll get like right away are the blind spot shots, and these are huge. If you can get behind an enemy or dodge behind them, it does an insane amount of damage and seems to also apply when they get knocked down and you're giving them back shots on the ground. The Dragon Rush combo with your fists is a really good combo that I guess whether it's with your fists or not, there's also the weapon version of it, the Ryukyu weapons. But that combo is really good, and you unlock it super early, and it helps you out a ton. If you just only use that combo, you can't really go wrong. You can use the taxi to fast travel wherever you want, but if you open up the map and hover over a taxi, you can choose the option to call a taxi to your location, and it'll drop you off at that next taxi spot that you picked. The downside is that taking a taxi regardless costs money. If I'm close to a taxi and I just walk up to it and take it, it's a lot cheaper than using it from the map though. I don't use it all that much because it's a lot of fun just running around the world and exploring, but it makes a little more sense in Dark Ties since you have a lot of money and you start on the bigger map. And I didn't even realize for a while that you can use the monorail whenever you want. If you don't know where it is, you can view it on the map. You spawn like right next to it at the start of chapter 2, and this is how you get back to the orphanage. You can come back here whenever you want. Although you don't have a whole lot going on there at the orphanage in chapter 2, you'll get more as you progress the story, but you can still come here for various things, which you can also do at your other hideouts or homes, like the dojo that you can access above the bar in chapter 2 as well. You don't have to head back to the orphanage, but you can go over to either one to fully heal and recover, free of charge whenever you want to. Also in your hideouts is the game system, where you can play a bunch of old retro games like Sonic and Pac-Man. Both of those you unlock like straight away when you pick it up inside of your orphanage hideout. These are also a really easy way to get training points with the challenges that just have you play it. And if you're not interested in actually playing those games, all you have to do is start up the game and then exit, and the challenge on the training list is still progressed. Oh yeah, at home at your orphanage, you can use these little statues to fast travel around each little point, which mostly just helps with getting over to the fishing spot. That's what you mostly use it for, but it takes you to pretty much any activity around the orphanage. If you have any interest in the fishing minigame, these are not that difficult until it comes to the final boss, the Orefish, on the hardest fishing challenge that you need quality bait for. If you're trying to do this early on, it could be nearly impossible, but I didn't realize if you come over to the bulletin board and click the buy option for the general store, you can purchase different harpoons. Different ones and different items in general in here become available as you level up the store rank, which levels up as you make sales, and that includes requests. Selling is fine. You make more money as you sell more items, so these will eventually be worth more, but the requests are where you make a lot of money plus get additional items. It's almost always worth doing requests, I've found, more than straight up selling your items. And heading inside and then sewing to begin the sewing minigame can be surprisingly profitable. The dust cloth sells for 1,000. It starts out at 800, I think, but I made it to the second tier here, so now it's 1,000. And the drawstring bags, which I have 6 of just from doing it one time, each sell for 3,000. But like I said here, if we go over to the requests, there's a request for 4 dust cloth, usually worth 4,000. You know, even if you upgraded your sell prices, this is still more than that. And you're getting 2 bags of rice. Kind of the same thing for the drawstring bags as well. You can grab the Mame lock screen that reveals all of the coin locker locations, which you can see on the map, but it costs a whopping 300,000 yen, and you have to purchase it from the Orphanage, the bulletin board shop. These are those gold glowing orbs, where if you pick them up, you get a key, and if you take them over to the lockers marked on the map, you'll get all sorts of rewards, including cheat items for gambling, which is easily the best way to make money in this game. If you don't know how to use them, I would just make a save before actually using them in gambling, so that you don't waste them. In Dark Ties, you can get the gambling items from the shop guy inside of the Hell's Arena. You come here during the story, but it's over here on the map if you don't remember where it is. And these Hell's Brawler and Hell's Survival, mostly Hell's Survival I found, is the best way to make money, as long as you go and actually retreat once you realize you're low on health. The best thing to do is whenever you come out of here, visit the shop guy, purchase the best buffs you can get. All of these stack, and it makes the survival Hell's Arena a lot easier. This Coliseum, like, arena thing is probably the most fun part about the game to me. Another, like, basic thing I wish I knew is that you can come back and do pretty much everything in the game later. Nothing from what I've been able to tell is missable. There is not a right way to play. This is just a fun game, but the best thing to do is focus on the story for at least the first few chapters, but still collect anything that you pass by. Do any sub-stories that you come across, grab everything you see, and do all of the phone activities that you can. But I'd personally wait to fully explore every little, like, crevice until it's populated with more activities that you unlock through the story. In case you didn't realize, to 100% complete the game, you no longer need to play mahjong, batting, golf, or any of the mini-games that could have been pretty tough to get 100% completion for all of the achievements or trophies. And there's not even a difficulty-related achievement or trophy, so it's a little bit easier. Even though you no longer have those minigame-specific achievements and trophies, I would still try the minigames out, not just because they are fun to play, and there are a ton of them throughout the game, marked with the little pink icons on the map, but because they are all super important for progressing the training list. This training list rewards you with training points that you need in order to grab the abilities over in your upgrades list. By playing the minigames, you can knock a lot of these out super early on, karaoke especially since you play it in chapter 1 and can do it as much as you want, and then continue the rest of them like bowling and whatever else, more karaoke over in chapter 2 and onwards. That is pretty much it. Leave a like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you to Sega and RGG Studio for sponsoring the video. Yakuza Kiwami 3 in Dark Ties is out now, so click the link down below to grab it for yourself. See ya!